Live, you're watching KOIN 6 News at 5. Watching out for you.
And now at 5, reopening Washington State, we break down Governor Jay Inslee's plan to get things back up and running.
If you're a little guy, chances are you're going to the back of the line.
Small business owners across the country are speaking out, frustrated over big corporations getting a big piece of the coronavirus relief pot. Coming up in about 5 minutes, how new restrictions should help get money to those mom and pop shops.
And a local favorite makes a big announcement. We'll tell you when you can get your next McMenamins fix, still ahead. Thanks for being with us here on KOIN 6 News this morning. I'm Jenny Hansen.
And I'm Ken Body. Let's get a first look at your morning weather and traffic. We've got Kelly and Carly standing by. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. We're expecting some changes going into today, and already portions of the valley are a bit wet from some rain. So this morning, expect a soggy one to start, and some showers continue this afternoon. Also some breezy winds for the coast and for portions of the valley. We'll detail that out. And we are expecting more rain into our weekend, too. So we're done with that blazing sunshine that we got the past 2 weeks. And now we are watching rain in the valley and out towards the coast. You can see some wet weather here working through Salem. And there is more on the way. The system is working on through. And as we head towards the next couple of hours, the heaviest of rain should be working into Portland, too. So already some heavy pockets of rain out towards the coast and Astoria, down near Woodburn at this point in time, and you can see in our seaside camera there some showers in the lamppost. So it is a bit wet to start, 50 degrees and cloudy in Portland by about 7 to 8 in the morning. That's when that heavier rain works in. I'll have more details here in my full forecast coming up. Carly.
We'll take a look at this traffic alert. It's a stalled semi on I-5 southbound at Terwilliger, but it's only partially blocking the right lane, so it's mainly off to the right side here. And you can see traffic getting by just fine. It looks like another semi-truck made it to the scene to help out the other driver. So let's take a look at what we've got going on with the ramp from Highway 30 to I-405 northbound. Just a reminder that 18-day closure is still in place. You'll need to take I-405 southbound.
Thank you very much, Carly. Washington State Governor Jay Inslee says the first week of May is still too early to start reopening the economy.
Elise Haas is live, breaking down what must happen before businesses reopen. Elise?
Jenny and Ken, so Governor Inslee says that reopening the state will look more like the turning of a dial than the flip of a switch. And though health officials say that the spread of COVID-19 appears to be slowing and declining in Washington state, they say that it is still not at that point where it's enough for them to lift those stay home, stay healthy orders. But the state is coming up with plans to help walk businesses through reopening their doors safely. When the doors could reopen will really largely depend upon health modeling to project the virus's course. But the governor does warn that it will be a slow process.
Data tells us that if we were to lift all restrictions right now, or even 2 weeks from now, this decline would almost certainly stop, and the spread of COVID-19 would go up. Our gains in this fight have been hard won thanks to the sacrifices of countless Washingtonians. And to turn back on this successful temporary approach now would be disastrous.
Inslee plans to follow federal guidelines like the robust testing, quick isolation of the sick, identifying possible spread, and getting those people into quick quarantine. By the second week of May, Inslee expects to have about 1,500 workers dedicated to tracing possible contacts. So some changes that could look like reopening that we might be able to see soon. Inslee mentioned non-emergency surgeries could restart in the near future. He also talked about opening up recreational activities so we can get back outdoors, which I know everyone needs right now. And then they also mentioned construction resuming, but the thing is construction will come with some limitations. Reporting live in Vancouver, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
All right, thanks, Elise. Well, Franklin County, part of the Tri-Cities in Washington, is now open for business. A county commissioner there motioned to end recognition of the governor's stay-at-home emergency proclamation, and it was unanimously supported. The motion is worded in a way to clarify that resuming work is up to the employee's discretion.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown is getting ready to roll out plans for allowing some businesses to reopen. Governor Brown tells us there needs to be more testing and cases need to start going down significantly before that happens. Once it does, the governor says rural parts of the state with few to no cases, may begin to open with restrictions. This includes some restaurants, bars, salons, and child care centers. The governor expects to release the full plan in 2 weeks. To hear more details on Governor Brown's plan to reopen Oregon business, head to the KOIN Podcast Network. Our latest episode features a look at how things could play out and the steps required to keep moving forward. You can find it at KOIN.com/coronavirus or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Well, local leaders joined Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, updating each other on what's being done to support small businesses during the closures in Oregon. Now, in Hillsborough, Mayor Steve Calloway says they've invested in homeless shelters. In Beaverton, Mayor Denny Doyle is getting the word out to support local restaurants by ordering takeout once per week. And Mayor Wheeler announced the Portland Housing Bureau will begin taking applications to split up $200,000 among households struggling because of COVID-19.
New this morning, we're learning that McMenamins will be reopening for takeout. The local pub chain posted the good news on Facebook last night. They say they will offer food and beer to go starting this Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning. McMenamins also says they're adding new family meals for 4. Last month, McMenamins laid off 3,000 workers after it closed all locations in Oregon and Washington, but now we can get a communication breakdown burger.
I think I know where I'm going to get my takeout, those Cajun Tots this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there is more economic relief coming for small businesses. Congress passed the Paycheck Protection Program and Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program last month, but both were so popular they quickly ran out of money. Well, last night, the Senate took the first step towards replenishing those programs. And as Ian Lee reports, the relief can't come soon enough.
The bill as amended is passed.
The Senate passed a new round of funding for small businesses hurting from the coronavirus pandemic.
We wanted to deal with the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker.
The House is expected to pass it later this week. Included in the $484 billion package is help for hospitals and money to ramp up testing.
Severe consequences.
The White House is also asking big businesses who accessed loans from the original program to give them back.
We want to make sure this money is available to small businesses that need it, people who have invested their entire life savings.
New restrictions should help get money to mom and pop stores like Penny Ice Creamery in Santa Cruz, California.
If you're a little guy, chances are you're going to the back of the line.
Zachary Davis says it was frustrating being stuck behind large corporations.
Companies that have been doing big stock buybacks and things like that, I don't even understand what that means.
A handful of states are starting to lift restrictions this week. That includes Georgia, where businesses are weighing safety versus money.
Opening would be awesome, but we also want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
White House response coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx couldn't say how Georgia's salons, gyms, and tattoo parlors can practice social distancing.
I don't know how, but people are very creative.
Some European countries are slowly opening back up too, but Spain's running of the Bulls and Germany's Oktoberfest have both been canceled this year. Ian Lee, CBS News.
And here in the U.S., the Scripps National Spelling Bee has been canceled. Tomorrow's NFL draft will begin as scheduled, though it will be a virtual draft with players accepting offers from the comfort of their own homes via webcams. And stay with KOIN 6 as we follow every angle of the coronavirus pandemic. We do have a lot of resources on KOIN.com, including a section dedicated to facts on the coronavirus.
Time now is 5:09. Let's get right to Kelly Bayer with another check on our morning forecast. And Kelly, people should bring out their rain jackets today, sounds like.
Yep, that is right. We are expecting some wet weather, and it's here for many spots. A bit light right now in Portland, but down the valley out towards Salem, we are getting some wet roads out there and rain here observed at these weather stations. So out towards the coast, too, it's a wet start. We're getting some heavy showers out towards Newport, but the system is working on in, and it'll still bring some rain throughout the rest of the morning time. So grab the rain gear. You can see some heavy showers are around and near the Portland metro area down towards Wilsonville and further south along the I-5 corridor out towards Astoria. Also some heavy pockets of rain as well. So some wet weather this morning. Drive safely. We'll see our heaviest of rain throughout the morning hours, but still some showers continue into our afternoon. Temperatures in the 50s right now. And again, out towards the coast, Salem and further south, we are getting reports of some rain. So as we move forward today, we'll see highs in the upper 50s. It'll be a cooler day by the afternoon. We'll see some scattered showers still out there. But again, this morning will be a wet one, so keep the rain gear nearby. I'll let you know just how long this rain lasts last for the rest of the week. My full forecast coming up soon. Back.
Thanks, Kelly. The push for a coronavirus treatment is ramping up. Coming up at 5:30, we'll take a look at what's been working so far and what hasn't.
But first, today marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. Coming up next, what organizers say you can do to celebrate, and a look at the environmental changes already seen with hundreds of millions of people staying home.
Well, today marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and this year's theme is climate action. Now, while the COVID-19 pandemic has forced Earth Day activities to go digital, there are plenty of virtual and tangible things that you can do from home. And as Nancy Chen reports, climate experts say those stay-at-home orders have already had a positive effect on the environment.
With half the world's population staying at home, these cloudy days are bringing clearer skies.
This is wonderful. Places like New York, Los Angeles, Denver, all cities around the world are seeing the best air quality that they've seen in a long, long time.
The 50th anniversary of Earth Day comes as global carbon dioxide emissions are expected to fall to their lowest level since World War II. Water is clearer in many areas, and animal sightings are up. Even rare wildflowers and a declining bee population could benefit as roadside fields aren't cleared as often.
We've probably got about, I should think, probably three weeks worth of growth that often we wouldn't have had already. And this is such an exciting time of year, Nancy, because now in Britain, all these plants are gearing up with loads of energy to start flowering.
Organizers say more than 1 billion people typically participate in Earth Day activities. And this year, there are plenty of ways to celebrate the outdoors from inside. EarthDay.org has an interactive map with virtual events all over the country and the world, from teach-ins to film screenings. And while large-scale cleanups won't be happening, there are lots of practical things you can do from your home. Consider a no plastic buy challenge, starting with one item. Reduce meat and dairy consumption. Cut back on water use. Start a backyard compost pile. Build a birdhouse or feeder, or make crafts with recycled items. Climate watchers also say to brainstorm about the future.
Think about what you can do once we emerge from this crisis to help the environment.
Activists say every little bit really does help. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Well, as we just mentioned, normally people celebrate Earth Day through cleanups, activism, and environmental education. Oregon's Solve organization is known for its annual beach cleanups and other environmental initiatives. And although the coronavirus pandemic postponed their spring cleanup, Solve's do-it-yourself page has ways you can celebrate Earth Day at home.
But really, we want people to do the work, whether it's pulling invasives in your backyard, picking up litter while you're walking your dog, anything that you'd normally be doing at this time, throwing some sort of environmental work into it.
You can find more ideas on how to celebrate Earth Day on Solve's website.
All right, 5:16. Want to get a check on our weather and traffic. And Kelly, we're getting some rain today. I'm glad. My flowers have been a little hot with the 70s we've been seeing.
Yeah, I think a lot of gardeners out there and yard workers are very excited to see some natural rain, giving some moisture to their landscapes out there. So today is going to be a wet day, especially for the morning hours. Right now, we've been tracking this system here that's been riding our jet stream right into the Pacific Northwest, and we're seeing those results right now with some rain here out towards the coast and some wet weather in the valley already. So out towards Salem, it's a bit of a wet start here as a big patch of showers worked on through the I-5 corridor. Portland, still seeing some light sprinkles outside, not seeing that heavy rain just yet, but over the next couple of hours, we are expecting to see some heavy rain here, and the heaviest of rain will be throughout our morning time. You can see some heavy pockets out towards the coast here, up in the Coast Range, and also out towards Wilsonville near Woodburn, too, down the I-5 corridor. So soon we're expecting to see some of that wet weather really working in, likely by about 8 in the morning to about noon time is when we'll get the heaviest of rain today. Highs also a little cooler. We'll stray away from the 60s and the 70s today, with highs only in the upper 50s as we head into our afternoon. Still looking dry, too, up towards Ridgefield. So again, this rain is pretty sporadic around the valley right now, mainly out towards the coast and in the central portions of the valley out towards Salem. 50 degrees right now. Winds are light out of the east at 5 miles per hour through today. Some areas We'll see some gusty conditions as that cold front works on through. There it is right now, just offshore, but bringing that rain ahead of the front already. So moving forward, we'll see that rain working on in, a big patch of it really taking aim, the big bullseye here, right towards the central coast and out towards Salem and further south. But Portland will also see some heavy rain as we head into those next several morning hours here. By the afternoon, a bit of a rain shadow. We continue to see that westerly push of some wind, so we tend to see on the lee sides of the coast range drier weather with that big rain shadow that sets up. So I think by the afternoon we'll see most of the showers up in the foothills while the valley starts to dry out with isolated showers through the afternoon. So this morning again the wettest. By Thursday and Friday we'll see some lingering showers. It's not until the weekend on Saturday afternoon we see our next system approach. Another round of rain as a cold front works on through and brings showers back into the Pacific Northwest. So do watch out for a wet weekend. We'll be tracking that system as it moves forward. As we look at our rain totals today, should be a wet one, especially this morning. We'll see totals by the end of today, and with today's event close to about maybe half an inch or so. And there are several models that say different things. So here are potential rain outcomes for 4 different models. You can see there is a spectrum here. I believe we'll hit maybe close to about a half an inch and in that range and stray away from the 3/4 of an inch range for today. So we'll be wet. Keep the rain gear nearby. Again, the heaviest of rain right as you step outside for the morning commute. Out towards the coast today will be in the mid-50s with breezy winds. In the valley today, upper 50s to about 60 out towards Salem and near Corvallis too, with southwest winds around 10 to 15. On the east sides, we'll still see some rain showers, gusty winds today up to about 30 miles per hour as that front again works on through, especially out in Bend and in Madras. And in Hood River, the Dalles will be in the 50s to about the mid-60s with mainly cloudy skies and also some rain showers passing on by. So here's our 7-day forecast. A soggy start to this morning. We'll still keep a chance for some isolated showers into Thursday and Friday as well. Next round of rain comes as we head towards our weekend. Carly.
We'll take a look right now at this traffic alert. It's a stalled semi on I-5 southbound. This is at Terwilliger. Looks like a tow truck is on the scene to help that semi clear that area. So here's I-5 with that right lane partially blocked. Traffic's light, getting by just fine on I-5 southbound at Terwilliger. Now check out the drive here. This is the ramp from Highway 30 eastbound to I-405 northbound. Just a reminder that this ramp has been closed since the end of last week. It will stay closed until May 4th. Use I-405 southbound. And here's a look at I-5 in Ridgefield, the A-Lane A camera showing you how nice the freeways are.
All right, thanks, Carly. Well, protecting seniors coming up next. We break down the challenges the pandemic is bringing to both people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers.
Welcome back at 524. People living with dementia or Alzheimer's are facing unique challenges during this coronavirus pandemic. The stress has taken a toll not only on them, but also on their caregivers. Beth Kalmeyer of the Alzheimer's Association says right now it's important to stimulate your loved ones with simple and familiar things. She says that caregivers should also watch for increased confusion. They should focus on hygiene and hand washing for both themselves and patients. And most importantly, she says caregivers should have a plan if they get sick.
If you don't have that plan ahead of time, trying to manage that in a crisis is really challenging. Change in routine can cause somebody to wander that's never wandered before.
The Alzheimer's Association has a 24/7 helpline to provide support during this pandemic. The number is listed at the, well, it's not listed at the bottom of your screen, but here it is. It's 1-800-272-3900. Again, that number is 1-800-272-3900. There it is.
Well, the coronavirus is forcing breast cancer patients to make some tough choices right now. You know, many surgeries have been canceled, and getting treatment could further weaken the immune systems of patients. Well, to help patients, Susan G. Komen of Oregon and Southwest Washington is hosting weekly Facebook Live events with different experts. Tonight's event is about the importance of finding connections with people.
Grief is not taking a vacation right now. We can't put a pause button on the hard things that are going on with us, but we have to acknowledge those things. And it's from those things that then we're able to find the gratitude and to find the joy. But make sure you're looking at your whole self and your whole person. And if you need help with that, find it and seek that.
Well, you can join Sue live on Facebook tonight at 7. You can find links to the event as well as a way to submit questions ahead of time on KOIN.com.
Governors across the nation are considering reopening their states. Coming up at 5:30, we take a look at the plan that Washington Governor Jay Inslee has to bring back the Evergreen State.
Plus, a look at what has and has not worked in the fight to produce effective treatment for the coronavirus.
If you or someone you know has a birthday coming up, we want you to celebrate with us here at KOIN. Send in photos of yourself or a loved one with a name, a birth date, and where you're from. Email your submissions to birthdays@KOIN.com. And then watch KOIN News AM Extra weekdays from 7 to 9 on Portland CW, and you can see your celebration on the show.
Live, you're watching KOIN 6 News at 5:30. Watching out for you.
Thanks for being with us on KOIN 6 News this morning. It is 5:30 on this Wednesday, and this is a live look over downtown Portland, a flag on the Hawthorne Bridge there. Let's start off with a look at weather and traffic this morning. And Kelly, how's it going to be outside today?
Yeah, we're expecting to see a wet start here. Already some rain in Portland and out towards the coast and in the valley, too. So a soggy start to Wednesday ahead. The next couple of hours, we'll see some wet weather working on in this afternoon. Still some scattered showers out, too. So keep the rain gear on you heading into today. Breezy winds for some, too, mostly out towards the coast and for the Central Valley. Maybe some gusts today around 20 to 30 miles per hour this weekend. Also another round of some rain back in Portland. So a good week here to stay inside and maybe get some crafts done around the kitchen. And with the kiddos out there, it's going to be a wet start this morning. You can see on our satellite and radar it's cloudy, and we're getting a big patch of rain here working through Salem and now working into Portland. Also out towards the coast, it's been a bit wet too there out towards Newport. So heavy pockets of rain are around, soon to be in Portland too as we head towards the next couple of hours here. So that wet start is ahead for us. 50 degrees in Portland now, and moving forward again, the heaviest rain likely after 8 in the morning. I'll have my full forecast coming up soon and just how long this heavy rain will last this week. Carly.
As you head southbound on I-5, watch out for a stalled semi at Terwilliger. It's partially blocking the right lane, but it looks like a tow truck is on the scene to help clear that. So again, I-5 southbound at Terwilliger, traffic's getting by just fine right now. Take a look at some other spots like I-84 at 82nd. It's smooth sailing right now on 26 at 217. And here's a look at I-5 coming in from Vancouver at SR14.
All right, thanks, Carly. Well, the governor of Washington says the first week of May is still too early to start reopening the economy.
Elise Haas is live breaking down what must happen before businesses reopen. Elise?
Jenny and Ken, Governor Inslee said yesterday that COVID-19, the spread of it, was declining in Washington state, but he says that it was not enough for them to lift those stay home, stay healthy orders by May 4th like his office had originally proposed. And so reopening this state really largely depends on those health modeling and projections to see how the virus is spreading. But Inslee hopes that the health modeling projections in the coming days will give them cause to begin lifting certain restrictions and open up more businesses. When aspects of the stay home, stay healthy order are lifted, the state will provide guidelines so that way businesses can operate safely. Even after the order is lifted, workplaces will continue to look and operate differently. There will be continued physical distancing, teleworking, and other measures will continue to be necessary to keep workers and customers safe.
Will look more like a turning of a dial than the flip of a switch. We're going to take steps and then monitor to see whether they work or if we must continue to adapt.
Inslee wants recovery to focus on three aspects: putting public health first, followed by getting people back to work in a safe way, and finally supporting the community through this recovery process. And despite putting a plan in place for how we can move forward, Governor Inslee does stress that until we have a vaccine, then the coronavirus will continue to be a threat. Reporting live in Vancouver, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
Thank you, Elise. There is more economic relief coming for small businesses. The Senate passed a new round of funding for small businesses hurting from the coronavirus pandemic. The House is expected to pass it later this week. Included in the $484 billion package is help for hospitals and money to ramp up testing. The White House is also asking big businesses who access loans from the original program to give the money back.
We want to make sure this money is available to small businesses that need it, people who have invested their entire life savings.
New restrictions should help get money to mom and pop stores. And this comes as a handful of states are starting to lift restrictions this week.
Well, the rush to find new therapies to treat and potentially cure the coronavirus has been fraught with some winners and losers. This all comes amid a new stark warning from health officials about what the future of the coronavirus holds. Laura Podesta explains what's working and what's not.
This winter, the coronavirus could come back with a vengeance. That's the warning from CDC head Robert Redfield, who told the Washington Post on Tuesday fighting the virus could become more difficult in the winter when it dovetails with the beginning of flu season. The World Health Organization echoed that sentiment this week, suggesting politics are also getting in the way.
Trust us, the worst is yet ahead of us.
Scientists worldwide hope by the fall there will be a reliable therapy. There had been early hope that the drug hydroxychloroquine would be that medicine. President Trump even touted its effects.
I think it could be a game changer.
However, a new study of U.S. veterans infected with COVID-19 found those given hydroxychloroquine died at a higher rate. About 28% who were given the drug plus usual care died, versus 11% of those getting just that routine care. The study, though, was not a rigorous experiment and has not yet been reviewed by other scientists. One of the more promising interventions is using blood plasma from recovered patients and pumping it into those who are critically ill. It's showing signs of success at the University of Massachusetts Memorial Medical Center.
Such an exciting prospect now to have weapons to fight this with, and particularly ones that can work this dramatically and this quickly.
Doctors and researchers are now urging those who've survived coronavirus to consider signing up to donate plasma to help fight the pandemic. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
And we're also learning more about the origin of the virus here in the U.S. It apparently spread earlier than we thought. Original reports said the first known coronavirus death happened February 29th in the Seattle area. But yesterday, officials in Santa Clara County, California, announced 2 residents died of coronavirus in early and mid-February.
The Oregon Health Authority is revising its guidelines for COVID-19 testing. They say they will now prioritize testing for underserved populations and all frontline workers, including grocery store workers. Also, they will allow some testing for those without any symptoms. We had a chance to talk with Dr. Jennifer Vines from Multnomah County Health about the importance of testing, especially in minority groups.
They are at risk in part because of a social risk, because of jobs that they hold, again, on the front lines. And then similarly, the decades of racism and other poor access to healthcare that results in underlying health conditions that puts them at risk for potentially severe complications of this virus.
Dr. Vines adds that widespread testing needs to be available before we start opening businesses and the economy back up.
Well, a Northwest Portland distillery is now making hand sanitizer for local Providence hospitals. Freeland Spirits has stepped up its switching its production to hand sanitizer. They tell us they are following a recipe from the World Health Organization.
To know that we can help fulfill the need is just so amazing for all of us here, to be able to turn our skills into making spirits and gin and whiskey and to use that can transfer into making hand sanitizer is just really, it feels really amazing to be a part of something.
So far, Providence has already picked up 2,000 gallons of hand sanitizer from Freeland Spirits. And stay with KOIN 6 as we follow every angle of the coronavirus pandemic. We have resources on KOIN.com, including a section dedicated to facts on the coronavirus.
Time now is 5:38, and right now let's go to Kelly Bayern as she gets us ready for the rain.
Yes, and it's here and in the valley out towards the coast, too. It's a bit of a wet start this Wednesday morning with heavy rain continuing over the next several hours. You can see a big patch of that just worked through areas out towards Woodburn and near Salem this morning time. But a closer view, you can see some heavy rain out towards Molalla and working up towards the foothills along 26 into Sandy here. Portland now about to see some heavier rain working through, and we'll keep that going the rest of the morning time this afternoon. We'll see some breaks from the rain and keep showers out there. 50 degrees to start in Portland, and for many spots here in the valley, we are looking at cloudy skies out towards the coast, mid to upper 40s with some wet weather out that way too. So keep the rain gear handy for today. You can see towards Seaside some raindrops there in the lamppost, but moving forward, we'll see the heaviest of rain again around 7 to 8 in the morning. That continues the rest of the morning. By the afternoon, back in some rain showers. So again, it's going to be a wet one today, especially a wet start. Highs also a little cooler, only in the upper 50s, and will stay near the 50s for almost every region in the state today. I'll have my full forecast coming up next.
Thank you, Kelly. Time now is 20 minutes before 6 o'clock. You're watching KOIN 6 News. One local farm, typically catering to restaurants, has found a new way to make sure its produce does not go to waste. Our Cor Harlan will have details coming up next.
Hey everybody, I'm Patrick Lamb here in my studio. I just want to urge you to stay home and stay safe. We're all in this together, and if we stay home now and flatten out this curve, then maybe this summer we can get together for some summer events.
New this morning, with many restaurants closed or seeing a decrease in business, the demand for fresh produce has gone down.
For Kel's Irish Pub, this means finding another place to send their fresh produce to. Cor Harlan joining us live to tell us where the produce goes when the restaurants just can't use it now. Cor?
Right. Well, Ken and Jenny, you may not know this when you're down there at Kel's having a beer and some food there, but they grow a lot of the ingredients that go into their menu items on a restaurant-owned farm near Wilsonville. Well, when Kel's closed, it found itself with a lot of that farm fresh produce and eggs on its hands and nowhere to go. Well, now all of that food is going to an area food bank. The world may have stopped working in many respects, but the chickens on this Wilsonville farm have not. This is a 50-acre farm owned by the same man who founded, owns, and operates Kel's Irish Pub in downtown Portland. The farm supplies much of the produce used in Kel's food. Now that the bounty of the farm, though, is not going to the restaurant, caretaker Ben Tucker has a rather unique dilemma.
When the restaurants were forced to close down, the chickens out here on the farm, they didn't take a break. So we produce about 300 eggs a week, and I just kind of looked for the most responsible way to get rid of the eggs, and donating them to the food bank was one of the things that came to mind.
The Wilsonville Community Food Sharing Bank is getting the eggs now. It is just a couple of miles away from the farm. The virus and the resulting shutdown of Kel's could not have come at a worse time. Owner Jared McLeese had spent upfront money to accommodate Irish musicians who had come here to help celebrate St. Patrick's Day at the Irish Festival. The tent used to shelter the crowds was halfway in the ground when everything suddenly was ground to a halt. On the farm, winter cabbage and leeks are upon us now. They also grow hops that go into fall and winter ales later this year. Herbs that add flavor to Kel's menu are also grown here. The bad news, there's no restaurant to use any of that produce in. The good news for local food banks is they'll now be getting access to the same organic quality ingredients that have helped keep Kel's on the map all these years.
We're in for the long term. We've been in Portland for 30 years. We want to be another 30 years here, please God. So you got to do the right things for the economy and for the people around you, you know. They're all family to us.
65 employees are part of that Kel's family. The fact that they are shut down for the time being, though, has not stopped their willingness to give when the need is greatest. All right, you heard Jared there saying, please God, we hope to be in business another 30 years. All of that produce, the bounty from the farm that they have there, Jenny and Ken, will continue to go to the food banks in Wilsonville, and perhaps as they have more produce to other food banks in the area for as long as this shutdown persists.
Yeah, I mean, that's great that even though they're struggling, they're trying to help, at least do that while they can.
Right. Well, it's helped, and it comes at a time with unprecedented demand for food banks, too. So this comes for them at just the right time.
Right.
Yeah, well, Kel's will be one of those businesses that will come back. They're very much part of this community. Thanks a lot.
You and I will make sure to that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we sure will. No doubt. Thanks, Cor.
All right.
Well, it turns out that self-isolation isn't only tough on people. It can be tough on your pets. We spoke with Shanna O'Mara, the chief medical officer with Dove Lewis Veterinary Hospital. O'Mara says dogs can easily get bored and they can act out, and that could lead to a trip to the vet.
think we're probably seeing more dogs eating things that they shouldn't. So getting into things around the house.
O'Mara adds, if you need to visit the vet, call ahead and see what pandemic precautions are in place.
All right, 547. Want to get a check on our forecast and the traffic. Starting with the forecast, Kelly, we're expecting some rain.
Yes, that's right. It's arrived here in Portland and out towards the coast, a bit heavy in the central portions of the valley right now. You can see our jet stream pointed directly our way, and this latest storm has been riding it right into our region. So it's a bit of a different start this morning with some wet weather in place here. So it's a bit soggy out towards areas of the central coast and near Newport and further south. Seaside getting some light showers right now, and out towards Corvallis up to Salem and Woodburn. In this area, we did see some heavier rain working through over the past hour or so. Portland now getting some moderate rain as we look outside here in a closer view on our radar. You can see some more heavy showers working through the Wilsonville area and into Portland. So grab the rain gear. We'll see the heaviest of rain from about now until 10, 11 in the morning time. And out towards Seaside, our cameras there, you can see those raindrops falling through the lamppost. So a bit of a wet start, a big change here from what we have been seeing the past couple of weeks with a lot of sunshine there. So rain through the morning hours will keep scattered showers going and a bit more dry time, a mix of clouds and showers heading into our afternoon. Also highs today, a little cooler, only in the 50s. So it looks wet outside. Our view of downtown Portland, you can see gray skies out there and some wet bridges and roadways, some wet buildings there too. So that's the big change that we're seeing today. Some rain in the forecast here. 50 degrees as we start this morning. Winds are still a bit light at this point in time, but some areas will get breezy today as our frontal system works on through. So there's the rain. It's just offshore. Heavy showers expected as we head towards our 8 and 9 o'clock hour for areas of the coast. Notice how a lot of this heavy rain is more aimed out towards the central portions of the coast, just south of Portland. And today we will see some heavier showers through Portland, but the bulk of the rain again will remain through areas of the Central Valley and out towards the Central Coast. So this system works on through, and by the afternoon, a bit of a rain shadow sets up. So that means all those showers will push towards the foothills of the Cascades. We get that bit of a shadow here where we'll see some scattered showers through the afternoon, but also some dry breaks there too. So we'll continue with showers through today. Same for Thursday and Friday. Chance for some lingering pop-up showers through our afternoon and our evening hours there before a bit of dry time on Friday before our next system arrives into our weekend. So our second round of wet weather, our second storm system works on through as we head towards our Saturday afternoon and beyond. We'll also see some winds picking up for us too over the weekend. So more rain on the way, but with today's event, we should see our wettest day of the month so far. Likely rain totals around a half an inch. This model going with about 6/10 of an inch or a little more. I think that's a bit high for what we'll see today, but we'll be tracking how much rain we get. And so far, we've seen very light rainfall this April. Our wettest day so far has only given us just below 1/10 of an inch, and that was last Saturday. The first and the start of the month here, we saw some wet days, and then we were just dry for about 12 straight days. So this rain is welcomed. We still have a lot of the state here at some level of drought, so it's good to see this rain working in. Out towards the coast, a bit breezy today, too. We'll see some wind gusts close to 20 miles per hour. Highs today in the mid-50s with rain throughout the rest of the morning and some showers in the afternoon, too. Same for here in the valley. We'll see highs in the upper 50s to about 60 degrees as we move forward here. A rainy, soggy start with rain showers through the afternoon. Out in central and eastern Oregon, we'll see those gusty winds shifting over the Cascades, so a bit breezy out towards Bend and Madras. Highs today in the mid-60s with some rain showers as well. So here's our 7-day forecast. Temperatures mainly staying in the 50s to 60s moving forward with a wet morning today and scattered rain showers through the rest of the work week. Carly.
We'll take a look at the commute right now at 5:50. I told you earlier about a stall. It was a stalled semi on I-5 southbound at Terwilliger. Well, it cleared. It's no longer partially blocking the right lane, and all lanes there are open. Southbound's a breeze down to Wilsonville, and in from Wilsonville, only about 15 minutes. So check out the traffic here. This is an alert that I've been keeping you updated on, and it's an 18-day full closure of the ramp from Highway 30 eastbound to I-405 northbound. So this ramp here, take I-405 southbound. That will reopen May 4th. We go now to the drive, and it's looking really good on I-5, I-84, and 26. Those freeways are moving nonstop.
Thank you, Carly. We want to take a moment to salute the people who are working on the front lines during this pandemic. Today, we honor Chris Kirian, who works as a driver for Fred Meyer. If you want to honor the essential workers in your life, then send us their name, picture, and tell us what they're doing to make a difference. You can find everything you need to know at KOIN.com/heroes. Time now is coming up on 5:52. You're watching KOIN 6 News. Finding new ways to keep kids busy during the pandemic. Coming up next, we'll show you the daily activity that one local artist is providing that is also educational.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, the FDA commissioner tells us how the agency's first authorized at-home test for coronavirus can help in the fight against the illness. Also, we look at the serious problem of COVID-19 outbreaks in prisons and jails, where social distancing is not always easy. Plus, on the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, our Eye on Earth series looks at how hundreds of years of natural history can teach us about the problems we face today. And we'll talk with Pulitzer Prize-winning author Lawrence Wright, whose new novel predicted our current pandemic. We will see you all at 7.
Welcome back. Well, if you're looking for a fun way to get the kids outside, you should check out the A to Zoo. A local artist, Mike Bennett, is famous for his cartoon-like woodworkings of Homer Simpson, but now he's displaying animals in his front yard, beginning with the letter A, and he'll work his way to the letter Z.
Now you can come by the house every day and see the next animal in the alphabet, which is really fun for kids and adults the same. So I'm really excited about it.
And by the way, he says that he's creating pieces of obscure animals, so you won't see your traditional lions or tigers in his yard. And his hint for today's letter C display is an animal that is dangerous but beautiful and is native to Australia. And we'll be speaking with Mike Bennett later this morning on AM Extra. He'll be talking about a new collaboration with Miller Paint in honor of Earth Day. You can catch that on Portland CW at 8:15, Channel 32 over the air, 703 on Comcast. Well, the Oregon Humane Society is working to make sure pets across the state have food amid the coronavirus pandemic. Yesterday, 3 trucks packed with dog food, cat food, and litter headed out to Eugene, Hood River, and Pendleton. Within the next month, shelters in every one of Oregon's 36 counties will get a donation. As some of the donations are going to food banks, that way pet owners can pick it up when they get their own human food. In total, 50,000 pounds of food will be distributed. Well, do you know someone who's stepping up to help during the pandemic? We want to know about it. Send us an email to news@KOIN.com or click on the Report It tab on the KOIN 6 News app. It is 5:57. You're watching KOIN 6 News, and coming up at 6, we're following breaking news from the White House, what the president is now saying about immigration in the U.S.